Good evening, Bahamas, coming up tonight on our news.
One of Baha Mar's top executives gives an update on how things are going at the multi-billion-dollar project. We've got all the details straight ahead on our news.
Students aboard this school bus received quite the scare today. That story is coming up straight ahead.
Blood washed from the streets as police investigate the country's latest murder.
The transportation minister gives an update on the millions of dollars spent to redevelop Potter's Key. That story straight ahead.
Will the Bahamas see a Freedom of Information Act before 2017? Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm KRISTINA MCNEIL. Topping news tonight, Baha Mar executives today assuring that good things are on the horizon for the multi-billion-dollar resort, which has officially been sold to a subsidiary of Chow Tai Fook Enterprises. The president of that company, Graham Davis, spoke to our news at the resort's golf clubhouse today, where he said things are being set in motion to get the resort open and to begin hiring. Dana Smith reports.
Although the Baha Mar project has seen its fair share of trouble in the past, this time around they say things will be different. Davis assured the project does have the capital and the resources to get the project completed and opened. He said deadlines will be met and new hires are coming soon.
Prime Minister Perry Christie confirmed the sale of the stalled Baha Mar project in Parliament yesterday, asserting it marked a milestone in the development's troubled history. The project is now slated to begin a phased opening next April. In the face of concerns about the project's ability to meet deadlines, Davis said hotel executives are collaborating with the contractor, the bank, and the government to ensure it happens.
We're excited to be working hand in hand with the Prime Minister and the government. To ensure that it does open in April of next year. That is our plan.
CTFE has pledged to invest another $200 million into the project ahead of its April opening and will employ more than 1,000 people by that time.
We'll be working collaboratively together to start the recruitment process and hiring here in early January. We've already started to assemble some of our leadership team, and as we start in the new year, we'll be launching a recruitment campaign and excited to be certainly putting Bahamians back to work.
However, questions have been raised about the state of the development, having sat stagnant for more than a year. One former contractor told Guardian Business last month mold is an issue and the resort isn't livable.
Well, I'm very, very pleased to say that the receivers, along with XM Bank, have been fantastic partners on making sure that the project remained in a secure fashion, that it was conditioned throughout the time that it was closed. There's been some minor water filtration in certain parts, but again, that is very minor in comparison to the overall project.
Davis said a significant amount of construction is already underway and significant progress is being made. However, he couldn't say just how far along they are.
I'm not in a position to talk about really the percentage of completion. I can only say that CCA is working diligently.
And as for concerns about concessions, Davis said he can't go into specifics.
Well, I'm certainly not in the position to talk through the specifics of concessions and agreements. You know, obviously there is most favored nation clause with Atlantis, and I'm sure whatever concessions and agreements are finalized, it will be fair for everyone.
Davis said CTFE is still in discussions with the Grand Hyatt, SLS Hotels, and the Rosewood to be hotel operators at the development, which is still operating under the Baha Mar name. He said once the hotel is fully operational, it will employ thousands.
Davis said he's looking forward to a very successful future for the country and the project. From Baha Mar for Our News, I'm Dana Smith.
Well, traffic along West Bay Street near Baha Mar was backed up this morning as a school bus carrying a group of 12th graders overturned with the students trapped inside. Our GIORGIO BAIN was on the scene and filed this report.
A school trip for a group of seniors takes a turn for the worse when the driver starts to complain of not feeling well, and then this is what happened next.
Students were forced to use the emergency exit located in the roof of the bus to get to safety. Those who were not able were assisted by bystanders. Once safely out of the bus, bystanders scrambled to assist students with visible injuries, cuts, bruises, and broken limbs, all the result of the overturned bus. Officer in charge of road traffic, Superintendent Craig Stubbs, gave these details on the scene.
Shortly after 9 a.m. this morning, we received a report of a bus traveling with students from the St. John's College would have collided with a 3 on the eastbound lane on the West Bay Street near Bahama. On arrival, first responders there's a white school bus. Many students from the John College are lying on the sidewalk.
According to Stubbs, the driver had been complaining of not feeling well before the bus left for the field trip. All 24 students along with the driver were transported to hospital for further assessment of their injuries.
Initial report suggests that the driver said he was traveling on a school trip. He felt a bit discomfort. He decided to turn around and make his way back to school. As a result, he noted that he would have collided with a 3 that caused the bus to overturn. We have counted some 24 students, being passengers along with the driver, total 25. They were all assisted with IEMS personnel and they were transported to seek further medical attention at PMH and Dr. Hospital.
Stubbs says he is grateful that none of the injuries appeared to be life-threatening.
We'll have to wait until we seek the further medical reports from PMH, because a lot of the students were, you can see, they were assisted to greatly with the medical personnel and taking extra care and transporting from the scene. But we'll wait the report from the medical protectionists to determine whether or not any injuries were serious, but nothing life-threatening.
Stubbs says an investigation will be launched in the accident.
That is still yet to be determined, but the damages to the bus suggest that there was a significant impact with the 3 that would cause the bus to overturn.
Officials from St. John's College refused to comment on the incident. Reporting for our news, I'm GIORGIO BAIN.
Thanks, Giorgio. Washington Street was covered in blood as police were called to the scene of a murder just after 7 p.m. Monday. Chief Superintendent Clayton Fernander says police responded to reports of gunshots in the area. When they arrived on the scene, they met the victim suffering from gunshot wounds.
He was lying here in the street with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the body. The only information we have at this time that he was standing right in this general area along with another male when a lone gunman, male, approached and shot the deceased. He died on scene. We don't have no motive at this time, but we know that he was shot by a lone male.
As police briefed members of the media, a woman could be heard shouting in the street. Fernander says it would appear that someone knows something, but police need the cooperation of members of the public to fight crime.
That's how it appears, but we're going to reach out to them, but we encourage members of the public to work with their police, to give whatever information that they could to assist, and everything will be kept confidential. But we encourage the public, as I said, they are working with us, but this is a close-knitted community. As you can see, there's a number of persons moving about. Someone saw what happened. Someone saw what happened to somebody's child.
A basketball game was well underway as police washed the blood of the victim from the streets. Although it would appear as if normalcy had resumed at the neighborhood off Cordo Avenue, Fernander said he believes residents are more affected than they let on.
No, it's not a normal. You could see that some persons just turn a blind eye to things. They will see things and some just ignore it. But we try to encourage people who would have seen something, but it appears as though they were not fully aware as to what's happening. As you indicated, the persons down the street, I feel that they know what happened.
Well, work on the $3 million redevelopment and revitalization of Potters Key Dock is on budget, but slightly behind schedule. That revealed by Transport and Aviation Minister GLENYS HANNA-MARTIN during a tour of the project this morning. Our Jasmine Brown takes a closer look.
The transportation minister revealing that so far they've spent more than half their budget on improvements like this boardwalk and the surrounding landscaping.
Potters Key Dock will become an iconic locale within the city of Nassau, or just outside the city of Nassau.
The government allocated just over $3.1 million for the redevelopment project. HANNA-MARTIN says so far they have spent around $2.3 million. The redevelopment project is being conducted in 3 overlapping phases, with phases 1 and 2 currently underway. It includes the creation of freight holdings, bulkhead curbing, and a passenger waiting area. Bathrooms will also be installed. Security will also be beefed up at the dock with the establishment of security checkpoints to monitor and control access to the mailboat area.
We are putting in place security measures which control access to that dock, and as a result, we're now reviewing the regulations that govern this facility. We're being advised from our ISPS coordinator who assists with all of our international ports, and we're looking to mirror or to have a domestic sort of version of ISPS regulations which will govern activities on the docking facility and goods that come in and out.
While the project is currently on budget, it is not on schedule due to issues with the installation of electrical utilities at the dock, says HANNA-MARTIN. Assistant Port Controller Craig Curtis says the project will be completed by mid-2017.
We have already completed about 90% of phase 1.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources will also be overseeing another part of the redevelopment plans that include demolishing the existing stalls and replacing them while increasing the number of stalls to 65. That is slated to cost an additional $9 million. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Still to come on our news. Examining energy security in the country. Activists push for a Freedom of Information Act before the end of the year. A theater group lights up the faces of children just in time for the holidays. That's coming up when our news returns.